Today, I'm going to make a video about how to create real wealth, true wealth, more money and abundance than you've ever seen in your life. But this message, for some people watching this, is going to straight up piss them off. Some will be very offended. It will cause your skin to crawl because what I'm about to say is truth. There are other people that know exactly what I'm talking about, have experienced it, and will become overjoyed that this information is getting out. And to all of those people, I ask you to comment down stories and words or phrases of affirmation, because I believe this video is going to be so important that today this video is going to go out all over the world, and it is actually going to change hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people's lives forever financially. And I'm sure you're probably asking yourself, what kind of information can be that powerful that I can sit here in front of you and tell you? And it's because of my testimony. And it has been happening to me for over 27 years. I think I got that number right. When I tell you that it is going to rile you up is because what is going to happen to you as you hear these words is actually something spiritual, regardless if you are a spiritual person or a religious person. Those are two totally different things. Religion is just a bunch of rules set forth by man to destroy real spirituality and something inside of you that you were actually designed for. All right. I also have to preface this talk that I hit a wall mentally. It happens about every 6 weeks in my life where I'm go, go, go. And I get exhausted for a couple days and I'm on the couch, just out. I just push myself too hard. And so today is one of those days I have to give myself grace not to work so hard. Yet I just had coffee with someone and had a conversation about this specific law. It's a law just like the law of gravity. All right. What I'm referring to is something called tithing or giving. And before you hang up the video, I want you to do one thing, and I can guarantee you, if you do this one thing and listen for a few minutes, it's going to change your life forever. If you are willing to do that, type 1 down below. And the reason why I'm saying you type it is because you're about to say something, you're thinking something, and you're going to do it. This is what I want you to do. Say this out loud. Say, if this man that I'm watching has anything of truth or substance that will change my life or help me, I believe that I'm going to receive it. I'm going to be able to hear it and take it in. Say that out loud and then just watch the next few minutes, okay? Because there's something very powerful about when you make a conscious decision to be an active listener and you say something out loud. Say, I expect if this person has something, some wisdom to impart into me, that I'm going to be able to receive it. I know this sounds funny, but I do believe this is going to change millions of people's lives right now. Here we go. Because this video is going to be out for years and years and years. I believe in Jesus Christ. It's okay if you don't. It's all right. This still works if you do not believe in Jesus Christ. Being that I believe in Jesus Christ, I'm a total screw up, by the way. I I read the Bible, not as much as I should, but I do, or I have. There's a Bible verse I'm going to read to you, and then I'm going to explain it. And yes, the Bible is hard to understand, especially when you're talking about the King James Version and even the New King James Version. Here's a verse out of Malachi. It says, "Yet from the days of your fathers you have gone away from my ordinances and have not kept them." Meaning, this is God saying, you've went away from my rules or my laws and you haven't kept them. He says, "Return to me and I will return to you." A relationship, right? Says the Lord of hosts. "But you said," this is God saying, "but you said," to humans, "in what way shall we return?" And he says, will a man rob God? Yet you have robbed me, with an exclamation point. But you say, in what way have we robbed you? And God says, in tithes and offerings. There's two different things. You have cursed. I'm sorry. He says, you are cursed with a curse, for you have robbed me, even in this whole nation. Bring all of the tithes into the storehouse, that there may be food in my house, and try me now in this, said the Lord of hosts, if I will not open for you the windows of heaven and pour out for you such blessing that there will not be room enough to receive it. And he says, I will rebuke the devourer for your sake. So let me be really clear here. When God says, and try me now in this, that is him saying, bet me. I dare you to challenge me. You are allowed to challenge me. It is the only thing in the Bible where God says you are allowed to challenge him in this, because he knows that once you learn this, your life will be forever changed. Okay? Money holds a grip on us more than most people understand. Most people in our world have a poverty mindset. And that is a mindset that once it changes, it is an actual frequency inside of your body that shifts and everything changes. There is false doctrine in the church, and it is a demonic doctrine. It's a doctrine of demons, that humility, part of being humble, is not being wealthy. First off, you can't help people without money. It's impossible. Why? You may think, oh, I can help people. I'm going to help them by getting their car fixed. I'm going to help them by giving them food. I'm going to help them by getting them a hotel because they're homeless. I'm going to help get them into rehab. You know what's funny about all that? It cost you money to do all of those things. And there are a lot of people in this world that feel good about the level of help that they're giving. I'm helping 5 people. I'm helping 10 people. How about help 1,000? How about help 10,000? How about help 1,000,000? Right? You can't get to those levels until you change your mindset. And I've spoken to many people that understand, and I'm going to ask this right now as we go in. Hashtag tithe or giving, if you understand the principle of you reap what you sow. When you help people and you give, it comes back to you. Hashtag that down, then I know you're on track and you understand that. What I'm about to tell you is going to offend a lot of people. And a lot of people that I'm going to offend are people that would call themselves Christians. Now, I am a horrible example of a Christian. I am not Christ-like. I'm going to tell you that right now. I try, but I fail all the time. And I get back up and I try harder, okay? When we, as Christians, give our time, we receive more time. When we sow money, we receive more money. But most people do not understand that there's a difference between tithe, and offerings. They're two different things. Tithing is set forth, and it says it in the Bible, in the Old Testament, and there are other times, many times in the New Testament, it talks about as well. It is 1/10, exactly 1/10. And you have to actually be legalistic about it. Why? Because God is legalistic. He is very about certain laws, rules. When he says this, you're robbing him if you're not giving 1/10 of your fruits. Thank you, Bravo, for the super chat. And my point for saying this is because I've met people that say, "Oh yeah, I give," and I ask, "Do you give 1/10 of every dollar, 10 cents of every dollar comes in?" And they said, "Sort of," and I'm like, "You have to be precise, because God is precise, right? Offerings are different. Tithing, we can talk about. Offerings, keep that personal. That's between you and God, or you and yourself, right? Tithing is very important. And you know what the really cool thing about this talk is? I do not have a dog in the fight, or I do not benefit from you going out and tithing or not. Okay? I'm here telling you that this has changed my life. And God, there's a lot of people that don't believe in God, and this still works for them, and they're going to go, oh, the universe, it's coming back. Okay, no problem. God created this. That's how I believe. And God rebukes the devourer, meaning that those that would come and want to attack your wealth. As a professional firefighter, I have seen with my own eyes a whole city block burned down except for one home. I have seen a vehicle flying. We've probably seen it on the air, on the news, where or on the internet, where a car is tumbling down the highway and there's somebody standing off to the side, and it tumbles right over the top of them and never touches them, right? God rebukes the devourer. The person, which is in the Bible, it's Satan, and God defines it very clear. Satan is here to kill, steal, that's devouring what you have, and destroy you, right? When you tithe 1/10 of everything you make, there is miraculous provision and protection that happens with your wealth. Now, every single one of us are in a different path, a different journey of wealth creation. And let me ask you this. I would like you to say the word wealth if you are somebody that wants to be wealthy. And I want you to understand that there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being wealthy. Where it gets interesting is what you do with your wealth. Do you want to become wealthy because you want to show off in front of other people? I used to be that person. Do you want to become wealthy to help people? Or do you want to be wealthy to be comfortable and have a provision in case you lost your job or something like that? Okay. The last two, there's nothing wrong with. The showing off, there is. It never ends up well. It never, ever ends up well. And there was a point in my life as I was on a journey of learning the difference between tithes and offerings, what they do, how they benefit me and other people, that I started to realize that the more money I got, the less I wanted. It was the craziest paradigm shift I've ever gone through in my life. And another thing that happened was I wanted, and my goal is to write $1 million checks. So let's do the math real quick. If I wanted to sow $1 million in tithing, give $1 million in tithing a year, how much do I have to make per year? To a lot of people, that would be very weird. And I was, or not right, or greedy. We can't feed people without a lot of money. We can't feed a lot of people, right? Another thing, I'm treading lightly, but I'm trying to say the right words. And Lord, I just ask for grace over this message. I should have prayed for this earlier. That my stumbling, people will understand. You'll speak to them. Do you know how hard it is when you know something? And I'm speaking to you right now. You know something. Every single person watching this right now knows something amazing, has a certain amount of information, knowledge that if used properly, when you give it to someone else, it'll change their lives. It'll change their perspective. It'll change everything about them, right? So just like if they just use it and you tell people about it and it's not received well by the person, and then they continue to just live life not being fulfilled, right? You're like, man, if you just take this information, like, because why do you know this to be so true? It's because you went through it in the past. It changed your life. Now you understand that knowledge is truth and you want to push it out to other people, but they won't receive it, right? Well, it's so bad. This specific topic is so gnarly that God knew this, that in order to break through to people's minds, he had to allow himself to be challenged. Bet me. Watch that I'm not going to just unload the windows of heaven and give not only provision, but protection over what I give you. Because he needs you to get past this in life so that you can get on to more amazing things in life, like healing and abundance in your mind and peace and things like that, right? Things that make people conquerors. Gosh, there's so many different ways we could go with this, and my mind is spinning because it's one of those things that, oh, here, Barnum Statistics. I don't remember, not P.T. Barnum, but it was somebody else started this company that went out and took polls in churches, and they found that in the church, um, 1 in 10 people that go to a church tithe. And out of that 1 in 10 people, I want to say it was 1 out of 10 of those people actually tithe 10%. I could be off of my numbers, but I'm pretty sure I remember this correctly. Um, and there are amazing things that are done with that money because God multiplies it. If you want multiplication in your life, this is what you do. This isn't financial advice, this is life advice. There are people, and I know it sounds crazy, that worship Satan that give money because they know this law. Even though they worship Satan, because Satan and all of his minions and all the humans that follow him too are bound by the laws that God put on this earth. Probably blew some people's minds right now, but this is absolutely true. People like, well, I'm not going to say names in this video, but there are people feeding people, and at the same time, they're hurting them. And they're gaining wealth. Because God put this law, instead of spinning for everyone, Jews and Gentiles, people that are spiritual, people that are holy, and people that are sinful. It works all the way across the board. Type 10 if you agree with that. And you have to understand, and the reason why I'm getting you to move into action, say things out loud while you're watching this, is because I don't care if this video gets very little views. I know no matter how many views it gets, it's going to change one person's life. Actually, I believe it's going to change thousands of people's lives. But one of those people are going to take this message. They're going to learn from it. Their life's going to explode. They're going to become wealthy. They're going to help feed millions and millions of people. And then they're going to speak out loud like I'm speaking. And their voice will be much louder than mine. It will change so many people. You know, this isn't about me trying to be Mr. Popular or Mr. Magnificent or whatever you want to call it. This is Travis talking to you, knowing that you may be the one that picks up this message, runs with it, and changes millions and millions of people's lives. It's not going to be my words that changed a million. It could be your words. And that's a very powerful thing. Yeah. I'm going to end on that. I hope you got something out of this. The Economic Ninja is out.